Hola from the west side. It is me, DC, the Purple Diva, aka the Artsy Autism Mom. And welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. We made it through this crazy week, y'all. And I do mean this crazy week. Wednesday was quite a day. And as of now, 5 people have died as a result of the events of Wednesday. The current president, hey Latoya, the current president has been banned forever from Twitter. Yay! But he'll probably just go over to that other Twitter-like platform called Parler, which is kind of like right-winged. And we're learning more about the first person who was identified, the young lady from San Diego, who was a vet, as in she served in the armed forces. And she was part of that group that begins with the Q. She was part of that group. And give me 1 second, you guys. I'm trying to, I'm gonna have to get some longer screws for this, because I don't think the screws that I have were long enough. But let me get back to this. Let me just pop it back into place. All right. I don't think I don't understand how these people could believe that conspiracy theory group. It's something that begins with a Q. I think it's Ron or something like that. Anyway, they're this crazy extremist group within the Republican Party. And they believe all of this stuff about the election was stolen. Even though, at least to this point, we've seen nothing that would credibly lead us to believe that. But these are people who you would consider sane. And yet they were scaling the walls. Scaling the walls. I don't know what this thing is doing. Yeah. My little recorder thing is acting. Now it's acting. I have to take it off the thing. I think it's time for me to upgrade my it's time for me to update my iPad. But what is this thing doing? It's doing something crazy, y'all. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone, because as long as the music is still playing, then I'm not gonna even bother with it. I'm not gonna even bother with it. But I don't even know what it's doing anymore. It's like doing what it wants to do. It went back to the music. It went back to y'all. I need to get me a new iPad. So I'm going to have to start raising money for that. But that'll be after I get it. I upgrade my Mac. So that's what I'm working on. Upgrading my Mac. It's going to cost me at least $1,000. Because we're talking about a Mac, y'all. And I'm going to get one of those ones that, you know, is a refurbished one. But it's only going to be, but it's going to have what I need. It's going to have the capacity for bigger random access memory and more gigabytes of hard drive. Because this poor little thing, I think only has 4. Yeah. But this is a really old MacBook that I used. But I've got to upgrade my computer. I've got to upgrade. I got to get a camera. I'm going to be upgrading my iPad. I've got to upgrade everything for, you know, in 2021 for this. I got me another small ring light for doing certain types of videos that I want to do, like of me drawing, so I can be hands-free and actually have, you know, the camera right, or phone or whatever I'm using right over it. Got one of those for my current camera, my phone. So I'll be able to do some, you know, videos of me drawing, even if it's time lapse, where you guys will watch me drawing, but I'll be able to do them and have them hands-free. So, you know, you guys won't just see things that I've done ahead of time or that I've done in the past. You'll see things that I'm currently doing, because I'm getting back into my painting. I'm getting back into my drawing. I'm getting back into all my artsy stuff. But the whole situation back in DC, you guys, and now the city is locked down. Well, you know, pretty much on a curfew until after the inauguration. They put that metal fence back around the Capitol that was around it after 9/11. And they usually put that fence around the Capitol during the inauguration, because I vaguely remember that being around the Capitol at a previous one. They always shut off, you know, Pennsylvania Avenue. Well, now it's shut off anyway. But you used to actually be able to drive in front of the White House. Now you can walk in front of the White House only. He's only going to be in there for what, 12 more days, y'all? They're talking about impeachment. That's not going to happen. They're talking about invoking the 25th Amendment. There's really not enough time. And as his White House staff are jumping ship, there may not be enough of them left to do any such thing, you know. And I don't think Mike Pence wants to become president that way. I think, you know, at this particular point, he just wants this whole nightmare to be over. You know? For him, at least. And then he can go back to being a private citizen. But that whole situation is going to go down in history. The last time something crazy happened to the Capitol was back in the 1800s, y'all. I think it was around the War of 1812 or something like that. Don't quote me, but I know it was in the 1800s. So it means it was in the 19th century, regardless. But, you know, let me pull the mic closer. I know I sound like I'm across the room. It's a sad, sad situation in our country right now. And here's the thing. If you are a person of color, specifically a person of, whose ancestors were slaves in this country, this isn't even our conversation. Because we all know that if it had been us scaling the wall of the terrace of the Capitol, busting into the Capitol, that it would have been a bloody massacre. But it was the clear people. And nobody can argue that it was white privileged. And it was for people who wanted insurrection. And, if there was a way to legally get Mr. Trump out of office, that's great. If by some slim margin the man would resign, that would be wonderful. But none of those things are going to happen. You guys, none of those things are going to happen. They're not going to happen. So there's no way, there's no use of even, all this talk is just distraction. What we need to be worrying about is, okay, what is Mr. Biden going to do as soon as he gets in there? Because, okay, after this mess that just happened this week, he needs to make sure that some things on his agenda starting out, make sure that this kind of crap never happens again. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Let's see what you guys are saying. I was in a chat earlier, Latoya. Shouts out to Black Sheep Autism Family. And she goes live earlier than I do on Fridays. She does a live where she has another autism mom up there, Raw B. And tonight, I didn't catch the entire live, but I caught the part where they were talking about autism. And it was really interesting because they were talking about some of the same things that I've talked about, the fact that for many of us, we believe that the MMR bundled vaccinations are the reason that our children have autism. And about the cover-up, where they negated that because it would have been lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And so they've made it so that we can't prove that our children were injured. But I don't know. I think they were. And I think that the FDA knows it. And so does the CDC. But because it disproportionately affects Black and brown males, they don't care. Now, it disproportionately affects males anyway. But I think if it affected more of I think if it affected more white males, if it became a larger percentage of their population, then they would look at this. But we're not the only ones who believe it. many people of other ethnicities believe that it's the vaccines too. Many parents believe it, and then I heard something in there that I had never even thought about, that in certain places, they have 2 batches of those vaccines. Some are the good ones and some are the bad ones. And you don't know which ones your kids get. Now, I don't think that would have been the case with my son, because we were out here in sunny California at a private practice in one of those upper echelon communities, and the physician just happened to be Black, but she was also a friend of my father's. So, you know what I'm saying? Back when my son got his, like 25 years ago, I don't think that the doctors really knew as much, because back then it was supposedly 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 45. Big difference. So, they can't afford that, because they can't afford, for the majority of the country to go back to not vaccinating their kids. We'll go back to having, people walking around with polio, which is what their concerns are. We'll walk around with people getting the mumps, getting the measles, getting the chicken pox, all those things that most of us got when we were kids. See, for me, I never got the inoculation for the mumps, because I got them before I got it. And because when I was a child, they gave you those inoculations all the way up to the age of 6. So you didn't get all of those inoculations before you were 2 years old, like they do now. And they were not bundled. I remember when I got the one, I remember getting separate shots, one for the measles and one for the German measles. There were 2 different ones back then. I didn't get one for the mumps because I got them. I got the chicken pox too, and they didn't have an inoculation for chicken pox when I was a kid. They had it by the time my son was born. But he didn't get the chicken pox inoculation until he was like 2 after 2. And I don't think the chicken pox one has anything to do with this. I just think it's those mumps, measles, and rubella one. Because the rubella is the German measles. And then they just call the regular measles the measles for the shot. And then the mumps, because it's called the mumps, measles, rubella shot. That's what MMR stands for. That's what that shot stands for. That's what the acronym stands for. Yeah, we know there are people in the clouds. That's okay. I don't care if you're in the clouds. Just smash that like button, please. Just smash the like button. I'll be right back. I am going to give me some more juice. I'm going to get some more juice. I'm walking back. I just had to go to, the other room. Y'all, I'm going to be so glad when I move, when we start really looking, now that at least in my household, we're starting to get a lot of our income coming back. It's time to get the hell out of this place. You know, and I swear if I could afford to move into something gated renting, I would. You know, into one of those gated communities. But I'm telling y'all, if you're renting, you're paying somebody's mortgage in those. So you're paying over $3,000, somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000, you know, for a house. It's a nice house, you know, it's usually like a 3 or 4 bedroom house, but you're paying for being in that gated community with a guard at the gate as well. So that's, you know, part of what you're paying for, even if you're renting in there. And those places rarely come up for rent, at least not in the areas that I would want to live in. Oh, you went and got something? What'd you get? Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. But, you know, you know, the conversation was really, really good. So I want to give shouts out to Black Sheep Autism family. She only goes live once a week, but she does uploads of her life with, I think she's got 2 kids with autism. And then Raw B, Privileged, she goes live. It's hard to say. Raw goes live a lot. She'll go live if you know, if it's, you know, the kids are quiet and stuff, she may come on. You know, both of them are at home mommies, you know, and they do the autism. They do this. Hey, Terry. Hey, Samantha. Happy New Year. It takes a minute for it to come up on the StreamYards. But yeah, you guys, they can never let anything like what happened in DC on Wednesday ever happen in DC again. It can never happen again. And here's the cold thing about it. That whole thing, even though I told y'all that don't have nothing to do with us, because it doesn't. That's just going to give people another excuse for saying, see, this is why we don't need to take any money away from law enforcement. I'm telling you, it's already happening in LA. You know, one of the places where they've been threatening to completely defund the police department or take a bunch of money from them. Now, because of, you know, they're concerned that maybe stuff may happen here. You know, now this is just giving, you know, them the fear factor out there that these fringe, you know, folks, outliers who may or may not be within the Republican Party, we really don't know. You know, so I'm not going to blame it on everyone who was there and peacefully protesting. Hey, you can peacefully protest. I just don't understand how all these people, these tens of thousands of people, were led down the Pied Piper trail of this delusion that the votes were manufactured, or votes were taken away, or they were manipulated machines, whatever. In Republican states, of all places, in those Republican states, you know. And like I said, Georgia turned all the way blue, except for the governor. Except for the governor. See, that's one of the crazy things about the state of California is that most people in the state of California really don't care what party the governor is from, because y'all know we've had several Republican governors here. And, you know, Arnold was the last one. But when it comes to like other stuff, this state is very, very blue. I mean, Orange County used to be red, but it's purple now. It's purple. And I think all of this stuff that happened and the 4 years of Mr. Trump and with this event that happened this week, I think there are some people who are going to reevaluate their affiliation with the Republican Party, or they're going to rethink his affiliation with the Republican Party. He may be asked to leave. He might be asked to leave, but I don't know, because these people are such. Some of them, I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking, does he have something on these people? You know, for them to just think that he was. Hey, Latu. How are you? For them to just think that, but you know, I'm still sad that 5 people were dead. One of them was one of the police officers, and the other 4 were obviously some of the protest or insurgent, you know, whatever you want to call it, treasonous people. You know, anyone who had the thought that they could do that stuff that they did and nothing happened to them, to think that they could actually really take over the Capitol and really overthrow the government, what the F were they thinking about? And 4 people are dead from that. And as I said on Wednesday doing my live, I like this entire event at the feet of 45. Because in his speech, where he riled them up before they went over there, he said he was going to be marching with them. Well, where were you, Mr. Trump? Where were you? Hunker down. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Brass Man. Good morning. I like the way you come in, sir. I forgot that thing was there. Thank you. Let me see what you guys are saying. Are you washing dishes, Latu? No dishes here. Actually, I washed them earlier. Thank you so much, Brass Man. It is very much appreciated. All donations are appreciated. I will be starting my membership this month, you guys. I just, trying to get everything together. I've got to change the banner for the channel. I'm going to try to do that this weekend. I'm trying to do it this weekend. I got so much stuff I got to do. But we have got to make the artsy autism mom pop. So I'm gonna have to reach out to some of my folks. Let me see what you're saying. You heard that. Oh yeah, they did some disgusting stuff, Terry. They did some nastiness. And then the one guy who was in Nancy Pelosi's office, they already know who he is. I think somebody's been fired from their job. They're going after these people. I told you that they would. I know a lot of people thought that perhaps their white privilege would, but they went on the U.S. Capitol. Y'all, they gonna find them, and they're figuring out what's the worst charges they can put on them. I'm telling you, some folk are going to jail. Some folk are going to federal prison. Behind this, it was just so stupid. I mean, I understand people being upset because their candidate didn't win. But I'm sorry, y'all. This is beyond ridiculous. And I don't know if it's the last that we're going to see of this nonsense. I don't know if it's the last we're going to see of it. But I know one thing, they're not going to try to go up against the U.S. Capitol again. I don't think these people are really willing to die for this. I don't think anybody was planning on that. But that's what happened. 5 people are now dead. And it wasn't this pandemic that we're all dealing with. You know? And let me say, rest in peace, Tommy Lasorda, who died last night at the age of 93. He just got out of the hospital. I think he had been in the hospital since November. And for those of you who do not know who Tommy Lasorda is, he was basically the face of baseball in Los Angeles. He was the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers for decades. Decades. And yeah. He also is the same one who took a baseball team to the Olympics that shouldn't have won and won a gold medal for the country as well. Thank you so much, Samantha, for sharing me out. I appreciate it. Yeah, but he was 93. I think he went home because I don't think he wanted to die in the hospital, even though, you know, when he had the heart attack, his family took him back to the hospital and he ultimately died in the hospital. But, you know, I think he just didn't want to spend his last days in the hospital because, you know, in this pandemic, nobody can come see you if you're in the hospital. You're in the hospital, it's just you and the nurses and the doctors. No family. Nobody wants to be like that, especially with what's going on. It's just, and so many people have had to die, you know, without their family because of this. But you got these crazy people who are mad because their candidate didn't win, scaling walls, and tearing the Capitol up. I mean, they just literally just threw papers everywhere. Windows are smashed. Still, you know, it's crazy. And meanwhile, he's still living the good life at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue until the 20th. And he's going to take his butt back to Florida, his new home. I'm sure all you folks in New York are glad he's not coming to New York again. But I don't think that he's going to allow himself to be silenced, y'all. Even though he has been put off of Twitter forever. You know, Parler is not going to be a big enough audience for him. You know, there's not enough closed-minded people in the world. He needs his message to get to everybody. So, you know, I don't know. He might do something, you know, crazy, like go back on TV again. I haven't heard anything on him. Let me check. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything on him. Let me make sure he's still with us, because you know they might not tell us. He's still here. Let me pull him up. I'm looking at the news on Blue Gossip. He left the hospital out of fear, but they haven't said anything else about him since then. He's at home. They just said he decided to recover at home. Man, this is just too much. I can't take this. You know, y'all know. Whew, my daddy's out there, so I just, you know, just pray. I just pray, you know, but where he is, they've had no cases, but I got to check with him and see how it's going now, y'all, because that was then, this is now. That was then, this is now. And what do you guys really think is going on with this Kanye and Kim situation? Remember I talked about that on Wednesday, y'all? Well, Kim is now flashing her ring, but she doesn't have the big one on. You know, so it's hard to say what the heck is going on. And then people say that every time that they have a, you know, big fight or anything, whatever, they buy extravagant gifts for each other. And he bought her a Maybach for Christmas. I told you he makes more money than she does. Even though he's, y'all know he's over here, even though he hasn't really been doing music lately, Kanye is making a shiznick load of money on them goofy clothes he makes and them shoes and stuff. So, unless he's mismanaging his money, he makes more money than she does. So, and then she bought him like some artwork that was worth like, I I think it was worth like $100,000 or something crazy like that. Ciao. Now I have some expensive artwork, but not that expensive. My most expensive piece is maybe worth 10 grand. And that's because the artist that did it also has done, art for people like Magic Johnson and stuff, Quincy Jones. He's like one of those artists to the stars. And I got one of his originals. But that's not what was paid for it, but that's probably about what it's worth now. Last time I checked, it was worth like somewhere around between $5,000 and $7,500. So I'm guessing that it's probably somewhere around $10,000 now. So, but yeah, we don't have no, plethora of artwork like that. That's definitely something that the rich folk do. I mean, I've got a few pieces, a couple of pieces, 2 pieces, 2 pieces by Black artists, but that'd be it over here. Other artwork is either prints or it's me, myself, and I did it. Y'all saw I showed y'all some of my stuff that I've done. Of course, I did show y'all a couple that were like self-portraits, but whatever. At least I'm good at drawing me. I'm good at drawing other things too. But I'm getting back into everything. Hey, Anna. Happy Friday. Hey, Joe. Hey, Trendorama. Happy Friday. But yeah, with the Kanye and Kim, we'll see if it lasts or not. We definitely know that Tyrese Gibson and his wife are kaput. They done. When somebody that locked you out changed the locks on you. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's just funny. It just sounds so crazy that he did that. Changed the locks, locked his wife and child out. I'm telling y'all, that man has never been wrapped too tight. He's never been wrapped tight at all. I just think that, you can get him out of Watts, but he still has that Watts mentality. He really does. That's why he's so showy with his wealth. And can't keep a marriage together to save his life. He cannot keep it. He's the dramatic. I mean, I hope he like everybody said. I hope he don't get on social media crying again. We can't with him with that stuff. Tyrese just needs to go sit down, do whatever he's doing, and shut up. He don't need to give his commentary on nothing anymore, because we don't want to hear it no more, Mr. Tyrese Gibson. Locking your wife and child out of the house. Let me see what you get. Cry niece. Kyries. I know, like, dude. I mean, I'm sure we all, it's like, when he did that on Instagram, I was like, Dang, man. Maybe I just need to unsubscribe the dude, because I don't need to see this coming through my Instagram. And look, I don't have an issue with grown men who, you know, can cry, okay? But we don't need to see it on your Insta. You know, them tears. I don't know who he could have given them tears to. I don't know who he could have given them tears to. But he did not need to give them to his Instagram followers. We didn't want those. You know. We was busy watching you be arrogant. Man, I know Tyrese thinks thought he was a relationship expert on Black relationships. Dude, well, we now know that you are not. You're like your friend Steve Harvey. Someone giving out relationship advice who has no business giving anybody relationship advice. You are a textbook of what not to do. He is what you should not do, y'all. Let me see. Pull myself closer. I'm going to come on camera for the rest of the show, if I can. If I can find my mouse. Let's see. There it is. Get y'all. David comes over here. Is David behind me? Say hi. Say hi. Okay. See? He ear hustled. He was upstairs, y'all. He was upstairs, but he brought his butt downstairs now. He heard me say I'm going to get on camera before I get off. And I'm not getting off quite yet. I still have a few more minutes. It is, yeah. I've only been on like a little over 40, like maybe 50 minutes. So stay off at least an hour. At least. Yeah, Mr. Tyrese Gibson. You can sing, dude, and you can act. But he doesn't do well in relationships. I know that light looks like it's like all y'all can see is like the shine of that one light. It's like blown up, and all that is the reflection. It looks like it's the reflection. Yeah, it's the reflection of a lamp, that lamp that's behind me, up on that light. So it makes all of it look really bright. Like, what is that? I haven't even listened to the Steve Harvey stuff. You know what? I haven't listened to Steve Harvey since. Let's see what he's doing, y'all. Okay. I haven't listened to Steve Harvey. Like every once in a while, I would like catch him in the morning when maybe I was driving somewhere. But if I'm not in the car when he's on, I just stop listening to him. You know, I don't know. And then what's his name came back on for like a minute. He was doing Zooms. Michael Baisden, he was doing all these Zooms. Then he went away. And then, you know, Tom Joyner is gone. And I heard Ricky Smiley is supposed to take over his stuff. I watched the replays of Ricky Smiley. I watched the replays of him on YouTube. Of course, on YouTube. They have this new show that came on, y'all. It's called Bells of the South. And it's about these female entrepreneurs in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi. And I saw like the first episode of it. I believe it's on, I think it's on OWN. I think it may be on OWN. I'm not sure. But didn't Oprah sell OWN? Does she still own OWN? I don't think she even owns OWN anymore. I think she sold it. I think Oprah sold OWN. At least that's what the word on the street is. The word on the street is that Oprah Winfrey sold the OWN network and she doesn't own it anymore. And I heard that Ivania Fix My Life. I heard that she was leaving too. I don't even watch her show that much. I'll watch it like every once in a while. I'll watch if there's, depending on who's on there. But she's got some kind of crazy methods for her, the therapy or coaching or whatever it is that she's doing. Because I don't even know if she's licensed, but hey, that's neither here nor there, because I know that like Dr. Phil, when he started doing the show, he no longer, kept his license active in, I believe Texas is where they're from, or whatever state they from. Yeah. Doing the show. So he technically couldn't practice medicine. And I know like Dr. Ken, he still kept his medical license for a while after he started doing the movies. Just wanted to make sure it was going to stick, before he gave up that license, but his wife is a doctor too. And now he's got his own little show on the Fox network. But I don't think Ivania was ever a doctor or a therapist, licensed therapist. I don't think she was. Maybe I thought she was more like a life coach. And, some people have licenses for life coaching and some people don't. Y'all know how that goes. Let me move closer. Y'all know how that goes. Let me see what you guys are saying. But yeah, nobody's gonna be listening to Cry Reese. I'm gonna have to remember that. And Cry Reese. Nobody listening to him. He's gonna get it on. Move on. Oh, and y'all know that the new Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta just came back on. And y'all know that the brat came out. So it's her and her girlfriend on there. And one of the cast members got COVID. I think the little chick, the chick that is Waka Flocka's cousin, like Deb Anthony's brother's daughter, because she went hanging out with Bow Wow in Florida when they opened it up, y'all. No mask. Oh, and she has asthma. The hell was she thinking about? So she got COVID. Now I'm sure she's okay now because they wouldn't even be airing, that stuff from back then. Because this was taped back when like opened Florida up back in the summer or something. Florida still has a high rate of COVID. But here we're sitting over here in California. We're basically on lockdown for the most part. I mean, because a lot of businesses aren't able to be open, such as the service industry. But all the stores are open. People are walking into those stores. They're standing in the lines to go into the stores and stuff. I see people with masks on. I see people without masks on. Y'all know DC got her mask. I got my mask. I have N95 masks. I have one of those sweater thingies that comes up over that I can put on over that. I've got the the shields that go over your face. Got all that. I have all that. Got gloves. And now they're talking about they're going to try to make people between the ages of 50 and 70 here, trying to make them go get the vaccine. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not doing it. That would be like half my household. We got to go. No, we're not doing it. And did you guys hear what Biden is trying to do with the vaccines? He's trying to get them all out there and just make sure that that there's enough for everyone to get a first dose, and then just worry about the second doses coming behind them. I don't know if that's the best way to do it either, because they're supposed to be like 3 weeks apart. So if you get them all out of there, then can you guarantee that in 3 weeks behind that, they're going to have the ones that they need for the people to take that second one? See, nobody has time for all that. And then someone died, but they're trying to say that it had nothing to do with the shot. But this person was healthy prior to, and it was a doctor. So jury is out. Told you guys. Told y'all. I don't know where I heard it, but somebody was saying it was something about it supposed to make changes in your DNA to help you to ward off this thing. I believe to some of us, DNA can already do it. Now, I'm not one of them folks that say this doesn't exist. I know too many people who have gotten it. I could listen to them on the phone trying to talk to me, and they could barely breathe. I've had 4 people die from this. An aunt and one of my friends from karaoke, and then 2 people that I knew that were in movies that I was in. This stuff is no joke. It is no joke. Not at all. Let's see what you're saying. Yeah, so she did quit the show. That's what I heard. And then I heard that Oprah had sold on. I heard she had sold on. But I'm going to get ready to get off of here, you guys, because I've been on here for about an hour, and I got to get up early in the morning to make a run. And I'm going to I may pop on tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But I've got to work on a couple of vlogs that I want to put up. So I'm probably going to be doing more of that. But I will most likely pop on with my, my daily pop on. And I should be back on live by Monday. I'll see you guys. I will be back on soon. And everybody have a safe weekend. I mean, really, have a safe weekend. I'm probably going to take these down this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to do with it after this. I may just put them in again, but I don't know. But these are coming down. Time for them to come down. It's going to be purple, though. I can promise you that part. Whatever it's going to be purple. But I'll see you guys in the interim. Please, I offer you peace and blessings from the West Side. I'll see you guys soon and in real time. But in the meantime, y'all can watch some of my videos, or y'all can wait till I pop a couple up in the next couple of days. All right? I'll see you guys. Peace. And thank you for the donations.